Eydis, the Island of the Dragon Bride, The Legend of Eydis, written by C.S. Johnson, narrated by William Hoyle. Chapter 1. There was nothing in the world that could have stopped him from setting out on this journey, and nothing in the world could have prepared him for it. Sterlig Kyvansson raised his face to the wind, letting the wet spray of the salty sea rise against him while the ocean rose up to meet his ship. There was a mix of bite and brash to the wind, despite the calmness of the waters. He could not stop a smile from coming up onto his face. Sterlig embraced the playfulness the weather offered him, knowing he would triumph over it in the end. In the dark minutes before sunrise, Sterlig leaned over the sides of his father's Nar, feeling the sleekness of recently hardened tar on the overlapping planks. He glanced down at the water, able to see his reflection clearly, seeing even the smallest details, the brass stubble of his growing beard, the seasoned lines around his eyes, the ones that came from working long days in the fields with his father. He suddenly grimaced. Thinking of him had been a mistake, he thought. Kivak Ragnarok, his father, would not be happy with him when he got back to Kivan. Pushing that unpleasant thought aside, Sterlig tightened a hand around the rope secured between the sea serpent prow and the sails and looked out into the coming horizon. He could feel it in his heart, taste it on the sea, and smell it on the wind. The clouds in front of him began to shade over, their airy inscriptions spelling out a message of welcome, or maybe a warning, as the promise of land became clear. Eydis. Along with his friends and some of his family's thralls, Sterlig had set sail from the port of Kivan 3 days before. Now Sterlig was watching for the moment when he would finally spot the mysterious island of Eydis. "Where are you, Brynja the Bride?" he whispered, wondering if he was taunting her or if he was tempting fate. As if to answer him, the moment Sterlig said her name, the sun came forward over the distant sea. He felt his body tense, as though he was preparing for a battle or raid. The feeling was the same, he decided, but he knew how to handle it. He felt his breath suck sharply as he saw it. The crest of waves washed up on its glossy shores, while its stark cliffs bordered the far edge of the small island. He could see the emerald clarity of the high meadows, feel the coldness of the pristine white of the snow on the mountain tops, and smell the heady fragrance of its most treasured export. "Eydis," he murmured, his tongue caressing the name, letting it linger, tasting it as if it belonged to him. With his free hand, Sterlig rested his hand atop the sword at his side and smiled. He had been waiting for this moment for months.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?